all just the daily stuff you were doing on top of that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All the player picks and everything else.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners, so they know, we were talking about the Team of the Year grind and how I said I was glad it was over because I did roughly 40, which isn't a lot, of the 82 times 20s or whatever, and got 0 cards. I got 0 honorable mentions and 0 Team of the Years. I felt like I would get at least one shitty honorable mention. At least one.
Oh yeah.
But I digress.
And I were glad it were over just because of how tiring it was. Like, it was a lot. And that's my own fault. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have to be spending hours grinding, but I did. And I am glad. I felt like I just needed to lock myself in a dark room for a few days after it had finished. And I haven't engaged much since, to be honest. I think because of that, I was just a bit FC'd out. Don't get me wrong, I've played games, but I've not been trading or doing anything on the menus really since it finished.
Yeah, I think there's like a Team of the Year hangover effect going on. I mean, people were on. I legit know people that were doing like a full day if they had availability, right? You're talking like till they got banned. You're talking 100, 200. I think the most I saw was 500 to 700 times. And I don't care if you're using like Pale Tools or extensions to make that a little bit faster. You are staring at a screen all day.
Yeah, that is a lot. When I saw some of the numbers on X, like people throwing out their numbers 300, 400, and like you say, I saw some people who were like over 500, and I'm like, man, there must be on Pale Tools, because there was one day where I went wild. Well, I thought I went wild, and I must have done, I don't know, maybe 80.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like nobody's doing more than that. But yeah, I needed a rest after that, and that was excessive. But when I saw the rewards were there, I thought, I have to go for it. We have to go. Go get it.
I think someone posted some statistics on it. I mean, they figured out via some different extensions and things. Extensions are a talk for another time, but they basically showed that if you did, like, I think it was like a number like 600 plus, you had a 99% chance of a Team of the Year based off the odds, right? Like, obviously, people don't understand how odds even work, but basically, in theory, that should get you a Team of the Year like every time. So, of course, you'd have to replicate that so many times, but it looked like some accounts were like crazy, like blessed. Like, it looked like some accounts did like 200 and got like 5 Team of the Years, no joke. And then some accounts did 600 and got 1. Like, it just showed the complete randomization for sure. This specific SBC, I think, really showed how luck-based it is.
Yeah.
Or account-based. I know some people are getting theorizing. Like, there's people that think their accounts are bad. Like, they already, like, people that are high performers in Weekend League, or Hunter's raising his hand.
Not that I'm a high performer in Weekend League, but that my account is...
Yeah, or maybe they just have it as like this, like giving them good stuff doesn't affect their FIFA point spend as much. Like, I feel like they do have data tracking on that kind of stuff. I could imagine they do, right? Whereas like a certain player pulls a Team of the Year, they're more like less they spend, or how much are they spending per promo. They have that kind of data for surely.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, some people are literally just like discarding their account after this, right? They think they are blacklisted, or just that their account is done. So they're just starting a new account next year and trying a different handle and seeing if that modifies things. I think that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
The avenues that people go down with this game and the theories that get started are just, it's almost entertainment by itself.
Yeah. We could do a full podcast on theories, couldn't we?
Oh, I got some.
Different theories out there.
I got a tinfoil hat that I'll put on.
But I've even been in some of those mindsets where I'm like, man, I'm seeing so many cards packed. Like, my account must be broken. But last 2 years, my account has had good luck, so I can't complain. But before that, I was like, come on. But during Team of the Year, I think, out of all the Team of the Years, I think last year was my first outfield player, and that was Onabatye. And I'd put in hours and millions, like, grinding over the years, and that was my first But this year, they blessed me. They absolutely blessed me this year.
It definitely seems like either the pack weight or maybe the opportunity to grind was way better this year, because I've seen so many people that I know personally have multiple Team of the Years, and that just used to not be the case. No one used to even pack, an Mbappe or some sort like that, or like a Van Dijk, let alone packing both in the same amount. I don't know. I do feel like they upped the pack weight for it. Do you feel the same, Jake?
You know what I thought was really interesting, guys, is that, and I actually heard some dispute about it. I think it was such a great thing that they added the 82 times 20. I think that really changed the grind and made it, close to infinite. When fodder was cheap, it really was infinite. You could literally make profit from them the first few hours, if not up to a day. But they did it really late, right? So people went through their normal spending and plan, and then they added it.
Yeah, it's true.
So I thought it was really interesting, but the 82 times 20 grind definitely increased it. Almost every game I'm in right now has Team of the Year cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say on average, 2. I literally think it's more than 1 on average, which is insane. Like, people talk a lot about us being like a hardcore demographic, and I just don't think that's like necessarily even true, because I'm talking about average player. Like, any type of game I'm in, I'm seeing 2 Team of the Years. And I know some people buy store packs and you don't know where they came from, but they're much more plentiful than other years. You're dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, who all did you pack? Just let us know.
Well, this were really weird as well. Like, I'd bought Cole Palmer for my team, and then I packed him, which there's no better feeling than that, packing a card that you've bought for your team.
Yeah, and you get your money back.
Yeah, well, it's just free coins, isn't it then? And then I did the same with Cafu. I bought Cafu for my team and packed Cafu. Then I packed Rafael Leao from one of the numero foot things that were going on during Team of the... then we got... Who did we get then? Martinez. Then I got Renard. Then Eusebio. And then Vinny.
That's just filthy.
So... Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself. I almost feel a bit bad. I
should.
don't, obviously, but almost do feel a little bit bad that I packed that.
Almost, but not even. You don't feel a little bit.
That's seriously crazy.
Well, it is like it just. I was saying this the other day. I don't think it's good for the game that lots of people have been packing this level of cards.
I'll tell you one thing. I've been getting some hate mail destroying a lot of these God Squads with the MLS boys. I'm just saying. There's no better feeling than when you see Eusebio and Mbappe up top and you smash somebody 3-0 before the 45th minute and they are raging.
That's really funny.
Accusing me of cheating and all kind of stuff.
It will show people that their skill is probably relatively unchanged, right? Like, you're going to get similar results. And now... that is always the tricky thing with Foot too, right? Like, because it's like everyone got the same upgrades in a way. Like, we talk about, like, obviously everyone's luck is different, but if you have on average 2 Team of the Years, like, everyone got similar buffs per se, and everyone's working on their center back evo. So, yeah, it's just really fascinating. And in regards to like the grind and everyone like having a hangover effect, someone theorized that they were going to do this for every promo, and I'm like, honestly, like, I sure hope not. Like, I know they're trying to get people online more and trying to bring grind to the game, and obviously since their stocks are down, that's why they're doing a lot of this stuff. It's very evident to me they had a complete change of heart since that time. But I really hope they don't do it the whole rest of the year, because what will happen is just an insane amount of burnout. You can't do that for months on end.
No. Can't do it and enjoy it anyway.
For
no,
sure.
you can't. It takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? It's like having Christmas every month. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and Matt said it all the time, like, if everybody's got amazing teams, nobody's got amazing teams. So it sort of like defeats the object, doesn't it? And it just won't be fun, I don't think, if
I think there's room for that in the game, though. I think there's room for a separate game mode specifically for people who want to use meta of the meta. You know, everybody gets to pick, and you're probably going to play the same teams on the same teams, but that's your choice, and you go play that in the Fanatics mode or whatever you want to call it. But you definitely don't want that throughout the entire game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the grind does become a job, doesn't it? And I've had it with trading before, when I've been like totally obsessed and just like at it all the time. It just becomes boring then, because you become obsessed with it, and just it's not fun.
Pretty much.
I really hope they don't bring it as you know, the unlimited repeatable 82 times 10 or whatever it might be every promo. It's too much, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, anything else on the Team of the Year before we move on to, I wouldn't say better things, but different things?
Yeah, I would just say, for me, like, just a final wrap up for Team of the Year, I thought they did really, really, really well with it overall. I thought that it went from being some of the least pack cards with the grind to some of the more pack cards, and I think that's what everybody would err on the side of wanting more. They want more grind, want it to be more packable than not. And then the Team of the Year center back Evo idea was just amazing in theory. I saw so many different unique combinations about that. That Evo was insanely good. And then we had some top tier SBCs out at the time. I don't know if you guys ended up doing any of them. The only really fascinating thing to me was that Zidane came out, and then they dropped like Ably afterwards, Abily, however you say her name. So it kind of detracted from those center mid SBCs getting that free Zidane. I think it would have made people a lot more excited to see those, like De Bruyne and her, without that free 94 Zidane, which it's hard to complain about because it was free and it was crazy, but I think it detracted a little bit from some of those top tier guys. But Bale, Cancelo, seen those around, Casillas, of course. So yeah, I would honestly rate it like a 8.5, if not 9 out of 10 Team of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the better ones, I would say, even though I was on the short end of the stick, but I can definitely see where it was great for a lot of people and a lot of teams. That Gareth Bale card is a menace. He's very difficult to deal with. And I'm so sick of seeing Zidane's bald head running back and forth on the pitch every game.
Yes, he's everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd give Team of the Year a 9 out of 10, because I think there was something there for everybody. There was some unbelievable Evos. We had the right wing Evo, the centre back Evo, and then, you know, the Start the Engines one and one or two others that you could sort of chain with the Team of the Year ones. I've got a Bradford City centre back that was 62 rated. I think he's now 92 rated with Jockey Plus and Anticipate Plus. Still don't feel amazing, but it felt better than he did at 64. Let's put it that way. And like I say, everybody's teams have improved through Team of the Year. I think even if you didn't pack a Team of the Year, you could do, like I say, a KDB or a Bale. And lots of other cards got cheap as well during Team of the Year. I think some of the other sort of meta cards had periods where they sort of dropped off and were a lot more available to people. And I think this year we have got a lot of cards that are really affordable that even some of the pros are using. You know, I've seen you post one or two, Jake, like Reindeers and Vitina, Elite, like Elise. Those cards like are still great at this period of the game, and all of them are under 200k. You can probably buy two of them for 200k actually. So I just think there's a lot in the game, whatever sort of coin balance you're at, or most people they're able to do most SBCs. You know, if you really wanted to, you could probably get Mbappe done if you had some 90 plus rated cards lying around. But yeah, I think they've absolutely smashed it. I think with a patch that changed the game. I know we've had a lot of talk about soft patches and whatever else has gone on, but yeah, I think that over the last month, maybe last 3 weeks, they're definitely winning.
Yeah.
All right, soft patch boys, thoughts? Are they doing it? Are they not?
No.
No, I don't think they are. I really don't.
So
I
here's
think-
my reasoning. So, and I love a good conspiracy more than anybody else, but my gameplay experience was really good immediately after the patch. Then it went to shit, but that was also the same time around Team of the Year when they brought all these players back onto the game.
Yep.
And after it kind of waned off, my gameplay got better. And then I went and played co-op with some of the guys from our Discord from Scotland, and I was on their connection, and I started seeing a lot of the same shit that I saw the week before. So to me, it's entirely connection-based. It's server load. It's something that fucks with that net code. Whenever you have a bad connection, it makes your AI fucking retarded. I can't explain it, but it's annoying. And yeah, just try to avoid games with high pings is all I can tell you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it can't be a soft patch because I might have 8 games that are horrendous and then one that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, what's happened? Has that patch been reversed again just for that game? It's definitely, well, I can't say definitely, but I would say 99.9% that there's no patch happened.
Do you agree, Jake?
Yeah, I think I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have said that the whole time. I think this community loves conspiracies, and there's some big creators pushing it too. I think I don't know who Ovi maybe. I've seen I don't know some bigger ones that were pushing it that they did see a lack of pace in defenders. I think that's the biggest one that honestly is hard to say that would be a server issue where I get where they're coming from. You either think your defenders are gaining on attackers or they're not. That's something that can kind of be seen. For me, when I experience, and I agree with that statement, if you actually notice a difference there, I don't know if that's servers. For me, I'm from the US, so I notice overnights the gameplay is just smoother. That's just a fact. That's not a debate at all. I know different times of day for me have different gameplay, and I'm fortunate enough to play very easily when Europe's not awake, right? So the primary demographic is sleeping, so my servers are better at that time. But if I turn it on during primary EU hours, right now, if we flipped on our game, it'd be 6:30 p.m. UK there. It's heavier. And there's noticeable things where it's heavier. I turn slower, passes would be slower. But yeah, I think that the real conspiracy lies in did they make defenders faster if people complain too much? And I still don't think they did. I think people were loving the patch overall, and that's probably honestly the best reviewed patch I've ever seen them do, just in general, probably ever. So I don't know what intent they would have to change it. And they posted literally in their stock update that they released a great patch, so it'd be shooting themselves in the foot almost when that stock report came out. So it's just really dumb.
And didn't they come out and actually make a somewhat of a statement about we're investigating potential issues with something in the game after, because people started talking about this soft patch and they basically said, no, we didn't. And we're looking into it though. They acknowledged the issue and they looked into it, but.
Oh, did they? Was that a tweet?
I think so.
I gotta look at that. I don't recall that off the top of my head, but you could be right.
Yeah, I don't, that does ring a bell, Hunter. I don't know if it was a year that tweeted it or is it Joel Doonan, maybe?
Maybe.
I do remember somebody saying something about it, but yeah, I can't see them. I can actually see them after that patch just going, right guys, do not touch anything. It's the first time ever the whole community has been absolutely over the moon with us. Do not change anything. So yeah, it would be madness for them to. And don't get me wrong, there's still things in that patch that I think need tweaking and need sorting out. But overall, if you said, do you want the game post patch or this one now? Everybody would say this one now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now I would even say, even if you think there is something that happened between, some people are conspiracy-based thinking, even if you think that, I would still think people think this is a relatively or even enjoyable game much more than the last few FCs. Right now, in my opinion, because I don't even believe there's a soft patch, it'd probably be the best game in the last, honestly, 3-4 years. And that's saying something. And this is Now they're based for 26. And kind of like we talked about almost a month ago on the pod, guys, like they admitted that there was going to be kind of some tweaks and some learning curve with all the new stuff, they were adding and managing, right? With the tactic system, with player movement, with roles plus. Like they had a lot to learn themselves, and I feel like we unfortunately have to learn with them, but it's showing that it's going to be producing really good results in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like I really think they can tweak this to a high level and fix their servers.
Yeah, and they just tweeted this out today, about 20 minutes ago. It says the featured update, title update number 9, we talked about in our pitch notes last week, will soon be available for all versions. As a reminder, we are not making any changes to the balance of the game in this update after seeing your recent feedback. So, there you go.
Yeah.
One thing we need to talk about that came out over this last week, something I've been on about years and years and years, is when somebody quits in a draw, you should get the win. They should get the loss.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat coming, and it's starting to look better. I still think it needs a little tweaking. I don't know why you have to make 45 minutes go by, but so one of 3 things need to happen. Either 45 in-game minutes have to have passed, or you have to have conceded a pin, or your opponent has to have conceded a pin, or your opponent has to have gotten a red card. If they quit in any one of those situations during a draw, you get the win. So it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure. I think that just, like with the time thing, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I have it on relatively good authority that there are, imposter, exactly, that there is AI in other countries, not in America, that can create foot accounts and have them match up together in Weekend League. And give them 20s and O's at will, rapidly. And it's AI based.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically they can coin farm through it. So because their AI programming lets them play each other, and this is what I've heard, and the only thing I'm missing is video evidence of it, but I believe it to be true. They play each other, one of them backs out, and then they win, right? So now if they could do that at will at 0-0, they could fly through like even more weekend leagues than they already do, because it allows that. That's why, in my opinion, this has all taken so long, is it allows for hacking and glitches at the 0-0 boot, right? Like, that's why they added the time duration to that for sure, in my opinion. So basically, it slows that down, even if they were to do it.
So it's still possible, but just take them longer.
Yeah, I mean, slow them down.
Yeah, I think you'd imagine on their side as well, if that keeps happening, that the same accounts, they must be able to track this. If the same accounts keep getting draws after some of these incidents, and they must be able to catch these accounts that are farming. Because if they can do that during Weekend League, that's a lot of coins fast.
Yeah, they're farming them.
Yeah, isn't it? That's a lot of coins. Like to build up, over multiple accounts. It's but yeah,
I'll say they could just make it to where you can't match up with the same person within 30 games of the initial matchup.
Yeah.
But these guys have tons of accounts.
Yeah.
This is like bot farming. Like they just have tons of different accounts, all earning millions of coins in a weekend, selling them all. There's a lot of money.
Ban the IP address, ban the MAC address, just ban them all.
I'm with you. I totally am. Yeah. I'm for it. I'm just saying that people, because they see so much monetization in it, that they're finding some crazy ways to do it. I had never heard of that before, and now I have all but like video confirmation that that's what's going on, specifically in China.
Yeah.
Well, it's something I was thinking about today, actually. Because I was listening to a podcast about AI and stuff, and I thought, like, the amount of money that could be made just through FC by doing similar sort of things through AI or trading, whatever it might be, it's just an absolute money spinner, isn't it? But yeah, that's quite depressing, actually. Yeah.
The hackers have basically ruined one of my other favorite games, Call of Duty. It's basically not even worth playing at this point. They've gotten so bad to where they can kick individual people from lobbies, which is fucking wild. Yeah, it's completely stupid, that entire game. They've lost half their player base since the launch in October.
Yeah, it's kind of the same premise, Hunter. Like, right? They're being able to control lobbies, who they play. I don't know. They must have like some really deep internal code to do that, I imagine. But
And it's super easy to do.
yeah, it's crazy.
I saw a video of it. It was pretty fucked up. I just hope it doesn't get that far in this game. And if they don't get a grip on it, it might.
Imposter said it seems like they're doing nothing about the coin selling, which is, I mean, seems
Yeah.
consistent with, which
Yeah.
seems consistent with how they've done that the entire time. That's why people do it. There's like no action.
Yeah. Another thing, I'm just shooting from the hip here because we keep talking about stuff that happened and didn't happen. Do you remember all the leaks that we saw about Ibarbo and Doumbia and Gervinho coming back?
Yeah, I think that's like confirmed, or I don't know. It's hard to keep up with leaks. So here's here's something that's funny about the leaks too. Is like one person is a source of the leak, and then nowadays there's like 15 people that copy it. So I can barely find like who actually posted it, because people are just like, this is coming now, and then they know, right? Like they're just saying, like, they make a different graphic than the actual leaker, and then they just say this is coming. But anyways, I think it's part of a grassroots promo that's coming at a further time, which is the title of it specifically, Hunter.
Yeah.
That's an early leak for something that soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they had to add the players to the database and like code, so they would just say like, these guys are coming to foot at some point. You actually saw it, the same thing with like James Rodriguez and some of those guys that did actually return in game. Now they had that before they came in, right?
Yeah. Maradona and Beckenbauer as well. I think.
They had they had
part of that
icons
league.
re-added.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That'll be fun actually to see
Yeah.
some new.
But-
It's always good to get new different cards in it.
That to me is one of those examples, guys, where sadly like leaks are really, really hurt their game. So I would imagine they take action. Because imagine this would honestly, like, the social media world and foot Twitter would go nuts if we signed on one day and we saw Gervinho, Ibarbo, and Doumbia. I literally think that would like break the foot community.
Oh, it'd explode. X would explode, and people would be losing their minds if they just logged on one Friday and they
Yes.
were like, "There you go." But yeah, and I
kids
say it
wouldn't
all
get
the
it,
time
though.
about leaks. Like, EA create so many opportunities for us to be absolutely like, "Oh my goodness." And they ruin 2 weeks in advance because we see them on Twitter for 2 weeks before they actually come. And I get it, we can't do anything about it much now, but it is sad. Friday nights used to be so hype. Like, I'd log into Nick Run the Foot Market stream, and there'd just be a bit of hype there on a Friday. Now I'll probably log on at 6:30 and see what everybody's doing because I already know most of what's coming. Which, that's just the game, isn't it? Now I've got to stop complaining about it. I've been complaining about it for the last 3 years.
You and all your pack luck. Let's talk about future stars. The promo this year, the team. What do you think about the team, Paul? That's how I thought too.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Yeah.
But I thought that was because we'd just come out of Team of the Year, and then I'm just a bit like,
I'm just remembering previous team future stars. You know what I mean?
I feel like we needed a bit of space between Team of the Year and Future Stars, because Future Stars is usually like amazing, really exciting, but I've not been on that much really to look. Do you know what I mean? I think that's more down to me. I think there's some amazing Evos, which, I've not really looked too much into, but they look good. Yeah, I did pack that Chelsea CDM yesterday. Is it Lavia?
Mm-hmm.
Packed him yesterday. He feels quite nice. And Bino
You packed him?
Gittins- Yeah, I packed him yesterday
Nice.
from Champs Rewards,
Nice.
which is rare, packing something from Champs Rewards. But yeah, he feels nice, so I'm going to use him for a bit instead of Guendouzi. Bino Gittins is one of my favourite cards this year. I've not used the new one yet, but he'll be phenomenal. I think he's probably a little bit expensive, but yeah, that'll be a nice card.
Yeah. I just feel like this This promo just feels like just standard filler promo to me. Like I know it's still future stars, but I don't feel there's anything particularly that special about it. You get like 3 or 4 top end cards that are like 1.5 million plus that you'll barely ever see. A bunch near discard, and I think that's kind of where they fall in this. You have some really good value cards here, I think, like Bradley, Liverpool right back. He looks really good. He's like 28K and he's got 93 pace.
Yeah.
So there's some like good value cards, I would even say, but like that Bergvall card is like 52K and he's got 91 pace, 92 dribbling, looks like an insane like CM. So there's some good value cards adding in there, but then other than that, it's like typical standard promo, right? Like a bunch near discard or cheap that you'll see a ton, some you'll never see, and then there's very little grind to the top end cards again. So I just feel like these are like kind of like write off. I know it's still future stars, but I feel like this one has declined over the years, especially with some of the youngsters just being so good already. I think that like people have Yamal and Endrick Evos, like that was like 2 of the most popular Evo cards, so I highly doubt that people are encouraged to splurge for those 2 specifically. Yeah, I mean, what's really the next huge promo? Team with a season now, so I think it's gonna be a few weeks of low key time, unless maybe they try that new one with grassroots. Like that could really definitely re-excite people and reignite people to the game. But as of right now, I don't have anything like crazy on my radar.
Well, we know that Grassroots Greats is coming and Fantasy FC is coming because of the objective, the weekly play completionist. If you do the first 2 weeks, you get 2 guaranteed future stars. If you do week 3, you get 1 guaranteed Grassroots Greats. If you do week 4 and 5, you get a Fantasy FC player for each of those weeks. And the group reward is 4 times 90 plus future stars, Grassroots Greats, or Fantasy FC. So
Okay.
if you just look at the future stars cards, that leaves some pretty usable cards from 90
Yeah.
plus future stars.
Yeah, what
So-
is that? Euro, Yamal, Sesko. Yeah, you get some really top. That's really the top
Hendrick.
tier group.
Yeah.
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 Of course, everybody's probably going to get Lucas Beraldo in their pack just because, and Euro. So you have basically 2 more slots you can potentially get one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
that'll
won't
be-
those aren't even bad pulls though. I mean, directly, really.
No.
Yeah,
Just to
as a
play in the
pick,
game.
that'll be nice.
Yep.
Yeah, real nice. I tell you, what I like out this out on the cheaper end, João Gomez.
Yeah.
He's got Intercept Plus and Bruiser Plus, CDM, Long Ball, and what else has he got? Let's have a look. Long Ball and Incisive as a CDM 4/4. Like, those cards for like 35, 40k, whatever he is just like. Nobody can complain that there's nothing in a promo for people without many coins. Because I think those type of cards, like I was saying earlier about some of the other ones, are so competitive. Days are gone where we'd get promo cards with 36 pace. Like, we get cards now that are mostly usable, aren't they? Or nearly all usable, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
There we go. There's my weekly mic bang for those listening out for that one.
That face is...
Every week. I can't help it. My big fucking fat hands can't help but
I love it. It wouldn't be a footballers episode without at least one Mike Boom Bang.
Imposter says his dinner ready.
That's actually pretty funny.
That is funny.
Well, somebody touched on it earlier. I can't remember who it was. Player of the month, Mbappe. That's 4.4 million coins worth of fodder or coins, whatever you have on hand. Either of you two pursuing that one?
It's a definite no for me. I think Paul mentioned it, but it's definite no for me. I mean, he gained Trickster Plus. Like, they literally switched his base PS Plus, and I'd rather have what's on the gold card. He went from having Quick Step Plus, I believe, to Trickster Plus, and that's just for me, for 4 times the price of the gold. I don't think there's value in that. I just don't. I know it's Mbappe, and I know he's kind of like endgame and stuff, but I like the PS Plus on the gold, so that's for me the main reason of resistance. Like if he had still kept Quick Step Plus, which is still I think really strong for attackers, and gain Trickster, I would actually consider it. But the loss of it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't get it. It's very expensive as well to boot. So
it
the
does
gold
seem
card is still just as good. I think. I don't know.
it does seem a strange move, done it, to do that. And it's very difficult to get as well in it with 90 rated cards, just from cards that you're packing. You need a few 92s and 93s in there, don't you, to make it, from your club to be able to get it done. It's a lot. That Trickster fake shot will be an absolute killer with him, but I think the base one just does just as well, I think. But I were baffled by him taking his base. Is that the first time they've taken somebody's base playstyle plus away for a player of the
hard to
month
know.
and gave it something completely different?
Oh,
Oh,
Pompel
Pompel says Vinny
of the
player
month.
of the month. Yeah, they did with that, did they?
Yeah, there must be some combination that they're not like. They don't want to have that combination of two play styles because it might become broken. Maybe I'm not sure. Especially a card that's relatively you can, I guess, obtain it if you had enough fodder.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
and I
staying
just
away
think,
from it too.
and I just think too, this is where it's important to mention like just how I always talk about this to people, but like just how accumulating some degree of like trading knowledge is really important. Like I know not everyone is looking to trade hardcore or a lot, but like fodder has been so easy to trade. Team of the weeks, like there was a period in Team of the Year where you could buy Team of the Weeks every day overnight, like away from content after they spiked from the 83 times 10s, and then resell them the next day for like 2K, 1 to 2K profit a card. You could do that every day, so you could make like 600K across 3 days. Just doing the same thing every time. And I know it sounds easy and like the theory is just that they spiked that content from all the refreshes, right? And everyone needed, I think, at the time 4 of them per day. And then by the time they were packed in the evening, they would drop in price. And you buy, resell in the day, buy, resell in the day. But my whole point with that is, like the 92 Mbappe tradable card is 2.5. So like that would cut it, right? Like even if you wanted an upgrade on normal Mbappe, you spend the extra $1.25 million or whatever, and you get the 2.5 inform. But then for the 93 to be 2 million over that's crazy. Like that, I don't know. Like I just feel like it makes more sense to try to trade to it than accumulate 4.4 million worth of fodder. I don't think people have that. I don't think anyone has 4.4 million readily available. Like you're already going into some liquidity spend to say like, okay, maybe I can have 2 million worth of fodder and now I need just 2 million more coins. That's crazy.
Yeah, I watched Danny Aaron's the other day, and his video was how many FIFA points to complete Mbappe.
Oh, that's a great one. I'd be interested in that.
He spent £950 on FC points to complete Mbappe, and it was those 90 rated squads that absolutely just made it so difficult for him to do. And I think he ended up having to open packs so he could buy 90 plus cards. But it's an interesting watch, so shout out to Danny Aarons. Yeah, that's an interesting video. But
yeah, that interests me actually.
yeah, he's done a couple of those, I think. Nepu did one with a Player of the Month Mbappe a year or two ago. That were always but I don't think Nep did it with points. I think Nep were just proving that you could do it just through sort of grinding over the month. But
Yeah,
going
if you
back
play
to the
video
team
games
of the
professionally, you could. Yeah.
yeah, going back to the Team of the Weeks daily during Team of the Year, I know Richard shouted it in our Discord, and him and one or two others. I'm too lazy, so I was just listing. I bought 50 and got bored, but those guys every day were buying 100, 150, whatever, and making that 2, 3, and because they do peak at. People aren't bothered about paying 4K over what the buy now price is, so they were getting loads of lasers as well and just absolutely printing coins. And like you were saying, Jake, it's not you don't need much trading knowledge for that. You just need to be able to have the time to buy 100 cards, 150 cards, and then list them the next day, and they're gone.
Absolutely.
And that puts you in an opportunity then to, you do that once, twice a month with certain cards, and on making those sort of coins, it gives you a decent coin total, especially with a the coins that you can get back just from playing the game this year.
Right. Yeah, and I just try to drop those tidbits because I think so many people like kind of panic when they hear trading or they seem it's so over their head. But I pretty much just, you know, described exactly what it entails. Like you just buy them late at night, flip them in the morning with refreshes, and that's it. There's no like further theories or trading knowledge worked in there. But if you understand that concept, you're pretty much golden.
Yeah, yeah. And I bang on about it all the time, like just good club management. You know, instead of quick selling all the golds that you get from Rivals rewards, keep them because certain times certain gold commons will rise or rare silvers, whatever it might be. Rather than just quick selling stuff, you might be able to sell a silver for 1,100 instead of 300, which you think, come on, Paul, what's that going to do? But over the course of a year, all those little bits of coins massively add up. Same with chem styles. Instead of quick selling chem styles, just list them. Somebody will buy them. I bought a load of shadows the other day, just bought a load of shadows. They've all sold to lazies for double or triple what I bought them for, just because people aren't bothered about, you know, a couple of K for a chem style.
Absolutely.
So that's what you do when you're bored. You're like, I'm bored. I'm gonna go buy some shadows.
Well, you know, that's whatever floats your boat, isn't it? You know, I was just sat there bored thinking shadows are really low because people were getting them free every day. Let's go buy a few. And I have these bright ideas where I'm going to buy 1,000 and I get 50 bought and I'm like,
Bad idea.
I've got enough coins, it's fine. Let's fuck it off.
There's someone right now in my Discord that has, I'm not joking, 11,000 hunters.
Yeah. We were talking about it last
I'm
week.
not joking.
I'm
That's
not
egregious.
surprised. And he will make ridiculous amounts of coins. From
Yeah, he's
that
gonna make
loan.
he's gonna double his coins. Like, you know, if you're willing to buy, there are people that are willing to go through that amount of effort, right? And that's not everyone. It's not me. I've never bought that many cards ever in Foot, but it's easy and you can store them in your club. So it is one of the most like OP ways to make coins because he still has his transfer list available. He can buy stuff off the market. He's not even unassigned.
Yeah.
So like that is like I think they call it like a piggy bank or an investment fund. I think it's just really a clever way to go about it for again people who don't like to trade or just like want to play and they say I can't open my packs anymore. I'm unassigned. It's like that's not the case here. So it's kind of cool that you can still do that at least. Hopefully they don't ban that or change that at least.
It's been in the game for a while, right? I mean, consumables trading's been the way for easy coins.
Yeah. They keep taking little bits away from us, don't they, every year? They'll take squad fitnesses or, you know, contracts, whatever it is away. They keep taking bits, just hope they don't take those away.
I just looked at the milestone objective. You know, the one where it says you have to purchase 500 cards?
Oh, yeah?
That's the last one I have left. I've only purchased 285 cards this year.
No way. Are you serious? That's
How
so
many?
funny.
I've only purchased 285. 285 items.
No way.
Yeah. I've been all Evo, MLS. That's it.
Oh, yeah, you have, yeah.
That's
And those
crazy.
285 are probably cards that I traded with early on to get some coins. Crazy.
Oh, Imposter is on 136 cards purchased.
138.
138. 138.
He went up to me. Well, I guess one
gotta-
down to me.
You gotta pump those numbers up, rookies.
Yeah,
those are
they're
rookie numbers.
Yeah, I think that were like I probably got that objective done in my first 2 days.
Probably so. Knowing you, yeah, probably. First day, probably.
I don't like buying. That's one thing I'm not a fan of. Like people who go and buy hundreds of cards. Like I just can't get myself to do it. And I know people absolutely live off it. Richard, in our Discord, he's one just for buying cards and buying cards and buying cards.
It's just
but
easy. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to think about it. You just put your filter in and you go to town.
I know.
But we didn't touch on Evos, which there's been a lot of activity going on Evos, and if you're not paying attention to it, you can miss a lot. As we, last time we had promo when Metz was talking about he kind of missed out on a few things because he wasn't aware where stuff was. If you look at your objectives, check out Dynamic Defender, check out the Evo Elites objective because you can go in there and you can get Evos that unlock dual play or Shadow Striker plus plus, and you can get one that has block and rapid base. You can get one that upgrades your weak foot. You can get one that gives you Deep Lying Playmaker plus plus, and these are all Evos you can add to your card. So after you select your Future Stars Academy player, you go in and you can unlock other things, which multiple playstyles, a playstyle plus. You just play one game for each playstyle in your Evo. And I'm looking forward to the next leg of this, because I think these cards are going to be pretty juicy when it's all said and done. Because they're not half bad already once you finish the Evo at 84. At least from what I'm experiencing.
Who did you pick?
Okay, what's her name? I don't even remember her name. She's from Chelsea, the striker.
I got De Winter.
The Winter.
Yeah.
Center back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good option. You can get. I think I posted a super terribly worded tweet that I got shredded on because I phrased it funny. But basically, you can give a center back for the first time like Intercept plus and Anticipate plus, or potentially your first time. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, there's no tradable card that has that combination. You could have made that through like unique Evo chain, already. Like if you randomly have that, but this is the first time you can actually like for sure get it if you don't, right? Like there's not a market card with it. Anticipate plus and then Intercept plus for that center back, Paul.
That's nice, because I think that those two they're the ones out there. Or I do like Anticipate and Bruiser plus, but I think Silver Bruiser's probably good enough. But Intercept and Anticipate, that'll be a really nice card. I think he's been quite a popular one as well, hasn't he? I just chose him because when I'd logged on, I was like, oh yeah, that'll do. Boom, I just probably shouldn't have done that, but it looks like I got lucky and picked one of the good ones.
Yeah, it was Fischl.
Absolutely.
That's the one I did.
Sorry, say that again.
Her name is Fischl. She's an American, plays for Chelsea. And after the update to 84, she has 95 jumping, 92 strength, 88 heading accuracy, dribbling stats all in the high 80s, some in the 90s. Finishing stats are high 80s, low 90s, and this is an 84 rated card. So I think these cards are going to be cracked toward the end of this evolution period.
How tall is she?
Short, but she outjumps a lot of people on the pitch. It's really weird. In Rush, I was putting her ass cheeks on Virgil van Dijk's face. I know they were getting mad, but
Yeah.
they got to buff the short female cards to make them viable, right?
Yeah.
Still don't trust him at center back, though.
Yeah, you don't see him honestly much at center back in general. So, well, with Saliba and VVD being powerhouses, it makes sense.
Yeah. God, that Saliba card, we went up against him earlier. He just stops everything.
The team of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually recently just tweeted too. I think he's the best pound for pound price team of the year.
He's crazy.
I think he does a similar job to VVD and is much cheaper. And then I think there's so many good attackers that they're more like malleable. Like I use Salah, and I like that like 90 Ronaldo much more than him for around the price. That 90 Ronaldo plays different. His animations are super unique. You see a lot of pro players using him too for that reason. He's 5-star. Like that Salah is not as good as the 90 Ronaldo even. And they're similar price.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you I've used this weekend. I forgot to mention it when we were talking about future stars. I think I might be losing my mind a little bit. Bobby Charlton. Bobby Charlton's always a favourite of mine, like since his, the last few years. And yeah, this one's real nice. Like his R1 dribbling in the box is just turning defenders inside out. Apart from that Saliba just mops him up. I played against him the other day, but I think that Saliba just mops anyone up. Like just comes and takes the ball no matter what you're doing. But yeah, Bobby Charlton, that's a really nice card. I didn't pack him tradable, unfortunately. I had to buy him with my coins, but he's nice.
And I want to also give a shout to the versatile attacking midfielder Evo that's out right now. It's free, and you can take anything below 75? Anything below a max 75, up to what, like a 90, 91?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
People
That's
were using
ridiculous
people
for
were
a
using
free
like
Evo. Even if you
Jalo,
don't use
right?
it, get it, try it, look for somebody that you could use off the bench. It's literally free, and they're giving you
Yes.
a pretty usable card with 2 playstyle pluses, which is pretty massive. This is the best free one I think they've given us.
Or not only that, just pick someone from your favorite team, right? Just to have in the club for sure. Or alternatively, like you said, actually, I guess too, like you even have, not that I think you should use it for this intent, but free fodder.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
value in
Yeah.
that card.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. Just for playing the game that you're probably already going to play anyway.
Yeah.
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 I've got a Bradford City card, Pattison, that I chose, and I'm giving him Finesse Plus from one of the other Evos. He was 62 rated, but I think he gets up to 85, I think, with Finesse and Pinged, which it'll be a really nice card as a CM cam. Not to play with now, but I think when he gets to 85 rated, it'll be, his stats are all above 85, so he'll be primed for another Evo to make him unbelievable. Which I think that's what I've done with a lot of my sort of Bradford City ones. I'm not making them usable now, but I'm picking the right Evos at the right time, not to get the rating up too high. Because there's been loads come out where I thought, I could put him into there, but it takes him up to 89 rated, but most of his stats are 73.
Yeah. And I'm getting to the point with my Evo team where I might have to start getting real selective here, because I think if you have 10 regular playstyles, doesn't that make it to where you can't Evo that card anymore, right? Because you can't add any more playstyles, or am I wrong on that?
I think the limit.
I don't know that one.
I think the limit's higher now. I think you're all
Is it
right
higher?
for now.
Okay. I just didn't want to kind of lock somebody in from potential Evo just by having too many base playstyles.
I know that's where people are so much more creative than I am, where people are like, I'm going to take them up to this and then I'll stop it so they have this. And I'm like, okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, or if you're just playing and guessing that they'll not Evo it in the future. You might get lucky, but I think you're going off luck at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it is, sometimes it is best to just hold off, even if you don't have any information or you don't have a hunch feeling. It's just wait and see what comes out. Wait until the absolute last day to use that Evo, because they might put something out after that chains better before that Evo. So it's one of those things. I'm not patient enough to do that. As soon as an Evo comes out, I'm checking it and I'm doing it and it's done. But
Yeah, I told you last week that I've got Pajama Armor. He's my like Evo consultant, and he's not steered me wrong yet. But some of these guys are like, I don't know if they're slightly autistic or what it is, but they're like,
Jesus Christ.
they're like wizards when it comes to Evos, and they're like, oh yeah, if you take this one up to level 2, wait 63 days, take this one up to level 3, wait 4 days for that one to expire, and then before you know it, you've got a card that's got 72 playstyle pluses and 99 rated, and you're like, how have you managed to even figure that out? Like,
That actually somewhat happened to me this year with Cucho Hernandez, because I started one really late and I didn't know that it expired when it did, and I got halfway through it and never finished it. But it actually made it to where he fit into the next Evo, whereas he wouldn't have before that. So he ended up being better than he would have been had I finished the Evo before that, which it's weird. I don't know. Evos are weird like that. But I don't have anything else this week. It was a really busy week. I'm sure there's a lot we didn't touch on, but we'll see what this title update looks like and how the community responds to it. And let's see if we still get as many quits as we used to get.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. I mean,
yeah,
Yep.
I think
There's still minor issues with the game, but I think we have way fewer issues than we had before that massive patch. It's basically a new game. I've been calling it the new game.
yeah, not only that too, but I think we're just set up so well for the future. I think that everyone listening, and personally, I think that I'm really excited to see the stock decline and their awareness of that. I think that kind of to them was saying, we can't keep putting out the same promos and product and gameplay and expect to keep making more money year over year. And that to us is such a good thing. Like, we're going to see some change. Grassroots was recently added in right around the same time, ironically. The best patch we've had in years was added in right around the same time they got that awareness, ironically. Like, of course, I don't think it's irony. The 82 times 20 grind for Team of the Year. Who knows if that was premeditated before seeing the stock prices. And I think, honestly, like, their combination with a good, solid patch and then that Team of the Year grind, I bet so many people rejoined the game cycle at that time. And I mean, you saw creators like Run the Foot Market and Inception putting out videos like, come try it. Like, they hyped it up, right? So people like that, people had already quit for this year and that have now returned. And that's not an opinion. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet for you, Jake, I bet you've seen people returning who you're like, oh, thought those guys were dead and gone, like, till next year, and now they're back. And I think we've seen it in our server as well, like new members coming in, people playing again that have not played for a while. It's, you know, even creators who don't normally like lift up the game have been really happy and buzzing. And if you play this game for a living, this patch must be the best thing that's happened in your job for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine having a job where you're just like, oh man, this is hard to play. And then all of a sudden, it's fun. And you're going into work every day and it's fun. Like, I imagine the content creation side of things will continue to improve while the game's fun. People will be sort of revived, won't they?
Absolutely. So I think we just have a lot to look forward to is all I meant by that. And I think they're really going to try to keep a lot of people engaged until next year. And I think next year is going to be even better. I really do believe that they're going to work on their pacing. And I just think we're in a good position here. I think we taught them something, and I think they're aware of that.
I just have one last question. I'm going to ask Jake this one. I'm just, not that I'm doubting your intelligence, Paul, but American to American, are you concerned?
Donald Trump.
Are you concerned about the tariffs? Are they going to hit FIFA points since they're coming from Vancouver?
Wow, that's actually a super funny question. I didn't even think about that. That's actually really funny. I mean, I'm sure no, but that's so funny that you actually asked that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just switch my VPN to Canada to avoid the 25% tariff, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. No, that's actually it was about Trump. I wasn't even wrong. That's hilarious.
No.
But that's hilarious. I think we're all safe here. They can monetize us how they want to, but
they'll just move. They'll just move to the US. They'll just move the headquarters to the US. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Oh, one last thing before we go. I know over Team of the Year, there's a lot of people who felt like they've not been able to keep up. I'm one of those people who's been like, there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to do. There's not a lot to do. You don't have to do it all. Pick the things that you think will be fun or the most beneficial to your gameplay experience and do those. You don't fucking need to do it all. I did do it all, but you don't need to do it all. It's hard work to do it all. Do not get burnt out by it.
Paul, I thought you were about to promote some kind of "I'll do your shit for you" play routine. Like I'll do your objectives for you.
I can't even keep up my own shit. Never mind other people's, man. Flipping heck.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I did do. Oh no, I won't say that. I did help Richard out of an Evo while his. This is how good he is. I helped him out doing Evo while his power were off because we had those storms last week. His power went off, and he looked after me, shall we say? Not me. He donated to a charity, which were really good of him. So shout out to Richard.
Shout out to Richard.
Here we go.
All right, Paul, you're doing my weekend league next week. All right, we'll catch you guys.
If you donate to my charity,
I got something I'll give you.
There we go. I bet you have.
Catch you next week.
It's not the first time somebody said that to me.
Later, guys.
Yeah.